Lewis Hamilton warned on Mercedes teammate Valtteri Bottas by F1 pundit Martin Brundle. That's the opinion of F1 pundit Martin Brundle, who was impressed with Bottas as he stormed to victory at the Australian Grand Prix. The Finn leapfrogged Hamilton at the start and dominated the world champion in Melbourne. And Brundle thinks the pressure Bottas is under will make him a different proposition for Hamilton to deal with in 2019. Esteban Ocon is the reserve driver for the team and was unfortunate not to secure a drive for the current season. And Bottas knows any slip-ups and he could be out of the car at the end of the year. Brundle told, in other news, "What a wonderful performance from Valtteri Bottas, turning it into a one-horse race. Lewis Hamilton had to pull out every ounce of considerable talent he has to snatch pole position in the Mercedes frontal lockout, but he had no answer for Bottas's fast start and race pace. Valtteri simply looks more rugged and determined, and when I interviewed him in the park forum as he took his skid lid off, he looked initially ferocious and then part bemused as the adrenaline faded away. He has nothing to lose this year. Every time he walks into his garage he can see Esteban Ocon in team gear and headset, waiting to pounce on his seat. To whom it may concern and all that, although the season consists of 21 races of course. His absolute determination to grab the new for 2019 extra point for fastest lap was very telling about his newfound confidence. He was not simply satisfied to have thrashed his teammate and scoring 25 points along the way. Bottas secured all 26 points available in Melbourne to give himself the ideal start to the 2019 F1 season. "It was definitely my best race ever," said Bottas after the race. "The car was perfect. It was truly enjoyable." Next up is the Bahrain Grand Prix on Sunday, March 31st. Next news: has Daniel Ricciardo dropped a hint on his career post F1? It seems more and more these days, F1 drivers look for opportunities in different series when they retire from F1. We've seen Jenson Button and Mark Webber do endurance racing, and Felipe Massa move into Formula E, but nobody has done the Bathurst 1000, and Daniel Ricciardo is a typical Aussie, and it may come as no surprise that he would be keen to take part. In an interview with motorsport.com, he said, "I was recently asked what I would like to do after Formula One, something like the V8s, NASCAR or Le Mans. In the first years in F1 you think yes, that would be great. But the longer you do this, the less enthusiastic you become. At one point I thought, once I stop, I will stop completely. I was probably kidding myself because it would be cool to race the supercar at Bathurst. I estimate the chance at 50%. Next news: more power coming from Honda soon. Honda is promising more power, and Red Bull is determined to improve its chassis after the new works pairing impressed at the 2019 season opener in Melbourne. Max Verstappen, finishing behind the two Mercedes, ensured that pre-season favorite Ferrari couldn't even be on the podium in Australia. And Dr. Helmut Marko says there is more to come. "We hope that Mercedes form was specific to Melbourne," the top team official told Automotor and Sport. "We were ahead of Ferrari, but we want to be ahead of everyone," Marko added. For that, he admitted that Red Bull has work to do. "The best part of the package is the Honda engine," he said. "For our part we need to improve the chassis. We have too little downforce, but that's born of the philosophy of the last 5 years where we had to constantly compensate for the lack of performance." He is talking about Red Bull's former supplier Renault, who according to Marko always produced too little engine power. "That's why we didn't have any big wings in Melbourne," said Marko. "They don't exist in our imagination." We will try to solve this as quickly as we can put it through CFD development and production. As for the engine, Marco said Honda is promising to close the 10-20 horsepower gap to Mercedes. The board, which was in Melbourne, promised us that more power is coming soon, he confirmed. If the power increase is significant, we will not wait until the 8th race. We would in that case take a penalty for the start of the race, said Marco. It's then up to us to develop the chassis to catch up with the people ahead of us. Verstappen, third in Melbourne, also has nothing but good things to say after Red Bull dropped a note to switch to Honda. It's just a completely different engine, but I don't like comparing with what we had before, he told Ziggo Sport. I don't want to upset anyone. Next news: Verstappen a title contender if Honda can keep this up. Wolff. Mercedes team principal Toto Wolff is convinced Max Verstappen is a title contender this season, provided Red Bull Racing's Honda engine can keep up the performance it showed in Australia. During the Australian Grand Prix, Verstappen overtook Sebastian Vettel's Ferrari on the straight heading towards turn 3. This could be because Vettel was slow in his second stint or because of the bigger impact DRS has this season, but the fact remains that this would have been impossible in past years with the Renault engines. Because of this, and Verstappen's impressive third-place finish, Wolff is convinced the 21-year-old could be scrapping for the title this season. When you look at how Verstappen could overtake Vettel in turn 3, you know the power of the Honda engine is good, Wolff told the Dutch version of motorsport.com. No other car has done that there, so it's really thanks to Honda. It's nice to see them back at the top, and in combination with Red Bull, it's a big threat. Verstappen's podium was his first in Australia, and also Honda's first podium finish since 2008, underlining that the Japanese engine manufacturers has improved massively in recent times. If Honda can show this performance every race, Max Verstappen is definitely a title contender. We're really going to have to account for them this year, and that's a good thing. Honda deserves to be back at the top, the Austrian concluded about his rivals. Earlier, based on an interview in Frankfurter Allgemeine Sonntagszeitung that was reproduced only in part by DPA news agency, we claim that Toto Wolff is in fact opposed to the budget cap plan. Next news: Mercedes not opposed to budget cap. Wolff. Mercedes is not opposed to the introduction of a budget cap in Formula One. But Mercedes says a crucial part of the interview was left out. The budget cap, is still a work in progress, but there will be a budget cap. We want it, team boss Wolff said. The challenge is how to control spending, because the teams are structured very differently. For example, we will need to agree penalties in the event that a team deliberately breaks the rules. It is very complex to put all that in place. We see the biggest challenges with the implementation, he added. A Mercedes spokesman said the team welcomes the budget cap and is working together with FIM on how it can be implemented. Next news: Bottas ends difficult 6 months. Wolff. The newly bearded Valtteri Bottas issued a serious rebuke to his detractors after winning the 2019 season opener in Melbourne. Mercedes boss Toto Wolff said the Finn gave the best possible response to those who left Bottas completely written off after his bad 2018 season. I'm really happy for Valtteri because the last 6 months were really difficult time for him, he told ORF. Bottas said on the radio after crossing the line, "To whom it may concern, fu you." Explaining the outburst, Bottas explained that he did not plan the expletive but felt it was justified given the criticism he received over the winter. Through the difficult times there's the negative side, which is their weakness, so it's fine. But maybe they should look in the mirror sometimes, he said. Bottas even disobeyed an order from Wolff to resist going for the new point for fastest lap. "I told them we do not risk a win for a point. And then they simply ignored me," Wolff told RTL. Bottas' win and bonus point means he is leading the World Championship. His teammate, Lewis Hamilton, says Mercedes is in a title fight with Red Bull, Honda and Ferrari. Amazingly, Max Verstappen beat Ferrari, so it's really good to see Honda getting back to where they belong. "I guess it's going to be a great fight this year," said Hamilton. "I think something went wrong for Ferrari this weekend, but they have a good car," he added. Next news: Italian press blasts weak Vettel. Mattia Binotto says Ferrari is not panicking after a bad start to the 2019 season. The entire paddock was stunned in Melbourne to discover that, after the Maranello team's dominance of winter testing, Mercedes and also Red Bull Honda were faster at the first race. "We need to analyze what happened here and peace at the factory," new team boss Binotto said. "I remain convinced that we have a good car. We haven't seen our true potential on a race weekend yet," he added. The pressure is also mounting on the shoulders of number 1 Sebastian Vettel. Binotto confirmed that only a team order meant Charles Leclerc didn't pass him for 4th position. "At that time we did not want to jeopardize the result we had. For us it made no sense for Charles to attack him," he said. At one point, Vettel even asked his engineer on the radio, "Why are we so slow?" La Gazzetta dello Sport said it was a weak performance by Vettel. Leclerc seems to have more energy and openly admits that he was told to stay behind in the final stages of the race, said the Italian Sports Daily. But boss Binotto insists he is staying calm. "This weekend was unexpected. We thought we could improve the balance over the weekend, but it didn't happen. Today I have no answer. But we stay calm because we believe in the potential of this car. We think this was an outlier that hopefully will not be repeated. Maybe it's a good lesson for us," he said. Vettel is also confident Ferrari is still in the fight with Mercedes and Red Bull Honda for the World Championship. "It was one race," said the German. "Mercedes is very strong and the rest are far behind, but it's a long year," he said. Thank you for watching the video. Be sure to share and subscribe to your channel to get the latest sports news around the world. Wished health and success. Goodbye.